Good evening and welcome to the January 24th, 2023 regular session meeting of City Council. If you're with us tonight and would like to address Council, please register with staff in the lobby. Please indicate item I for matters that are going to be germane to City Council if the item you wish to speak to is not on the agenda. As to our light system, it's a 3-minute time for when you address Council. After stating your name and your address, the green light will appear. After 2 minutes, the yellow light will appear. After 3 minutes, the red light will appear, and we ask that you promptly take your seat. The City Code identifies the procedure for citizen participation regarding items on tonight's Council agenda and provides the opportunity for citizens to address City Council on matters that are germane to the business of the Council. Matters that are germane to the business of the Council means matters that the City Council, by law, is empowered to act upon. This does not include announcements that are personal to you, your business, your organization, which includes campaign information. Copies of the city ordinance regarding citizen participation can be found at the desk in the lobby. If you intend to address Council this evening, please pick up and review a copy of this ordinance. Additionally, we ask that you please silence your phones. Prior to beginning the business portion of the meeting, Pastor Fred Michel with City Life Church will provide an invocation to the Council. Afterwards, Councilman John Ely will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. It is a practice of the Council members to stand for the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Those who also wish to stand are welcome, but are under no obligation to do so. Thank you.
Let's pray. Father, as I stand in this place of prayer tonight, I'm reminded of Nehemiah, one of the great visionaries and builders and urban planners of his day. And there was a moment where a report came to him that gripped his heart about the condition of the city that he called home, that drove him to 3 places, to a place of prayer, to a place of permission, and then to a place of action. So that's my prayer for this council tonight, Father, that as reports come to them that grip their heart, just as it did for Nehemiah, that they too would find themselves in a place of prayer, that they would have an ear to hear your voice and to follow your prompting and to follow your direction. And I pray too that they would come to a place of permission. Although we thankfully do not have kings in Newport News, we have authority, people of authority, rules and guidelines and boundaries. And so I pray that no matter how just their cause might be, that they will always operate with integrity. And finally, I pray too that they would find themselves in a place of action, that their pursuit of these seats would never be for notoriety, but like Nehemiah, they would only ever be here for service. And so it is in the name of the one we call Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, we say, Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Presentations. This evening, we have 3 members from the Newport News Young Adult Police Commissioners who will make a brief presentation to City Council. I would like to welcome the Young Adult Police Commissioners, President Carson Jarman, Vice President Ella Sturgis, and Secretary Dakaya Hopkins to the podium. Is there a 4th? Okay, just coming on. And if there's someone that I missed, just please state your name.
I'm Nia Pearson, and I'm from YAPC.
Okay.
I'm Jadell Fagans, and I'm from YAPC.
My name is Carson Jarman. I'm also from YAPC.
I am Ella Sturgis, and I am also from YAPC. I'm the Vice President of the Young Adult Police Commissioners. This program invites the different grade levels from all the high schools within the Newport News District to join and be part of the conversation. It involves many officers from the Community Youth and Outreach Division that come to all the meetings. We get the chance to talk with these officers, get to know them, build relationships with them, learn about the department, and express how we feel about the community. With this involvement, we can make good friends with our age group and who attend the different high schools, so it's not just the people within our high school that we get to know. We also not only build friendships with these people, but with all the officers, but we also get to share our opinions and ideas. Chief Drew asks all of the members of YAPC our biggest opinions and the different things that are happening in the community. He wants our opinions so that way things can be handled better in the way we feel would be best, due to us being young adults, so we see things in different light, and as he likes to say, we're the future. We can give our opinions on how we feel about these situations and how they should be handled, give good insight as to what may be happening. Our opinions matter, and we are the future of the community. We can also express our peers' views who are not in the program or anywhere. We learn a lot about this program within the department, give ideas, and get involved with the community in different events.
As I already said, I am Carson Jarman. I am now the president of YAPC, former vice president, and I just want to talk about a few of the things that we've done. We've done a Martin Luther King Day food drive where we got a bunch of canned goods, put them in bags, distributed it across the community. We've done community walks, had community days. We still haven't had a kickball tournament to raise money. I'm ready to win again, but I know it's in the works. And just to talk about what it means to me as the youth of the community, this program gives us the opportunity to be in the know. For most of us, some of us don't really pay attention to news, and we're easily persuaded with things on social media, and we can really get a clear gauge on what's really happening from other outside voices. We get a chance to speak our mind, and they listen, and we listen to them as well. And as Chief Drew says, he says that we, the youth, matter. We have the opportunity to change the world, so us being there gives us the open mind. As a young black male, growing up, I always thought, well, law enforcement aren't all good. But now I've learned that they're really just not all bad. Most of them are really, really good, and social media portrays them as bad. And that brings me on to the world today, that it gives us a chance to talk. And nowadays, there's no talking, it's just violence and fighting. But this group, this family, gives us a chance to communicate, to talk things out, and to find solutions. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I ask you, excuse me, could I ask you a question? Yes. Do you ever do a report that you, with your recommendations, to share with us on council? Could I ask you to do that?
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I would just make the ask, whenever there's I'm quite good at kickball, so let us know if you want to do any sort of council versus police force versus whoever.
I just want to say my team is undefeated.
Okay.
So
We look forward to it. Let us know.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you. Now moving on to the public hearings. Item E1 is a request to adopt an ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to execute any and all documents, including deeds necessary to effectuate the conveyance of city-owned property located in King William County to David Burbidge, doing business as Burbuilt, Inc. During the late 1990s and early 2000s, Newport News Waterworks acquired 37 parcels in King William County for the development of the King William Reservoir. When the King William Reservoir project was discontinued, this property became surplus. David Burbidge, doing business as Burbuilt, Inc., has offered to purchase 3 William County parcels comprising approximately 12.57 acres of land. The value of this property is limited because it is undevelopable due to the steep topography, irregular shape, and lack of access, consisting of mainly steep slopes and bottomlands that were to be flooded to create the reservoir. The Burbidge family are the former owners and adjacent landowners. Waterworks has contracted with Sears Real Estate and Appraisal, Kim Williams' owner, to advertise the property, establish its fair market value, and coordinate with potential buyers. Waterworks requested that Ms. Williams notify the original landowners as well as neighboring landowners of the sale of a portion of project parcel numbers 14, 15, and 16. The real estate appraiser has placed a value of $68,000 on these parcels, for which David Burbidge, doing business as Burbilt Inc., has made a full price offer. City manager recommends approval. Are there any speakers? None? Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Move adoption.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Thank you. Item E2 is a request to adopt an ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to execute any and all documents, including deeds, necessary to effectuate the convenience of city-owned property located in King William County to Brian Johnson, doing business as TNT Land Resource LLC. Item E2 has the same background as item E1. Brian Johnson, doing business as TNT Land Resources, has offered to purchase 5 King William County parcels comprising approximately 6.75 acres of land. The value of this property is limited because it is undevelopable due to the steep topography, irregular shape, and lack of access. The topography consists mainly of steep slopes and bottomlands that were to be flooded to create the reservoir. Brian Johnson, doing business as TNT Land Resources LLC, is an adjacent landowner. Waterworks has contracted with Sears Real Estate and Appraisal, Kim Williams, owner, to advertise the property, establish its fair market value, and coordinate with potential buyers. Waterworks requested that Ms. Williams notify the original landowners as well as neighboring landowners of the sale of a portion of project parcel numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 28. The real estate appraiser has placed a value of $19,000 on these parcels, for which Brian Johnson, business as TNT Land Resources LLC, is offering $52,729. City manager recommends approval. Are there any speakers? Is there a motion to close the public hearing? Is there a second? It has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Move adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Thank you. Item E3 is a request to adopt an ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to execute any and all documents, including deeds, necessary to effectuate the convenience of city-owned property located in King William County to Roger Elliott and Helen Elliott. Item E3 has the same background information as the prior 2 items. The Scotland landing track, comprising approximately 187 acres, was the intended location of the reservoir pump station on the Mattapatona River, as well as a county park. When the King William Reservoir project was discontinued, this property became a surplus. Waterworks advertised the sale of this property in the local newspaper, on the Newport News Waterworks website, by mail to adjacent landowners, and by posting signage at the property. Bids were accepted for 30 days. Waterworks received 4 bids to purchase the parcel of surplus Scotland landing track. Roger Elliott and Helen Elliott were the high bidders at $1,012,504. The city manager recommends approval. Are there any speakers?
Mr. Roger Elliott.
He's here?
Yes.
Okay.
Roger Elliott. I live at 638 Edgar Road in Hanover, Virginia, which is in King William County. I'm here tonight, basically, this property's been bid twice, and I was the winning bidder on both bids. So I came tonight in case there are any questions or anything like that that I could help with, and that's really all I need to say. Okay?
Thank you. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely,
4.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Vick,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
All right, perfect. Any discussion?
Yes, I want to tell the gentleman that I'm so happy that you're getting this land, and I am very happy with the award, the offer that you made. It was very fair. Thank you.
Anything else? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely,
4.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Vick,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Thank you. Item E4 is a request to adopt an ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to execute any and all documents, including deeds, necessary to effectuate the conveyance of city-owned property located in Hanover County to Sydney and Sydney Developments, LLC. Item E4 has the same background information as the prior 3 items. The furlong tract, comprising approximately 132 acres of land in Hanover County, was the intended location of a wetland mitigation site to offset the wetlands lost by the creation of the King William Reservoir. When the King William Reservoir project was discontinued, this property became surplus. Waterworks advertised the sale of this property in the local newspaper, on the Newport News Waterworks website, by mail to adjacent landowners, and by posting signage at the property. Bids were accepted for 30 days. Waterworks received 3 bids to purchase the surplus furlong tract. Sydney and Sydney LLC was the high bidder at $561,000. City manager recommends approval. Are there any speakers?
No, sir.
Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is it moved and seconded? Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely,
4.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Vick,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried, 7-0.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Move adoption.
Second? Any discussion?
Yes, I have discussion. I cannot support this, and I will not, because the difference in price of the appraisal and the offer that we have received, and I know this is difficult for our waterworks director, but I just really feel there's such a discrimination between the two that I can't support our losing over $200,000 on this piece of property. So I will not be supporting it, but that is my reason why.
May I have staff just address the question that had come up before in terms of the potential for why there was a difference in the appraisal, if that's okay? Because I know that question was asked. So I'm going to ask the Director of Waterworks to give you a better idea of why that number may be different.
So, Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you for entertaining the response to your question. What has happened is that when the property was purchased, it was purchased at a much higher value because we needed the property back then. So even when the appraised value was looking at 700 and something, the reason that it is not reaching that level is because there are hunting rights that could not be transferred. That created an issue. And when there was actually an appraisal done in 2017, the appraisal value was $530,000, which is in line with what all the other 3 bidders have done, with Sydney and Sydney being, at the higher bidder. The second thing is also the most recent appraisal value assumes that the clustered developments in the field could be offset with the wooded portion. However, the bidders deemed this arrangement unlikely to be accepted by Hanover County and therefore likely adjusted their bids. So in other words, the 27 appraisal at $530,000 is the truer value that we should be comparing it to, and the bids are actually a little higher than this one.
So what, why is the appraisal listed at 700 and, I can't see.
Because it's the most recent appraisal,
That was the most recent
but
appraisal?
with assumptions that are disputable. This is an appraised, it's an appraiser, they come up with their own assumptions.
Right.
And so when we look further and we compare with previous appraisal, they have different assumptions. Obviously, the bidders have been following more probably what the previous appraisal value was because of the limitations on that property.
So you say you've had it appraised since then, and it appraised for less than that 700?
That's right. So in 2017, it was appraised, and then it was appraised again with this higher value. However, the appraiser was different and used different assumption criteria to base their appraisal value, such as not having considered the hunting rights that could not be transferred, and such as the fact that there was the appraiser, the most recent appraiser, thought that the cluster development could actually still be made, which when bidders must have talked with Hanover County, got from out of the county that this was not going to happen. So then they reevaluated the bids to what was closer to 2017.
So why are you still writing it in as over 700,000 if there's been an appraisal since then?
There has not. There has not been appraisal. That's the most recent appraisal. The appraisal he's referencing is one that happened before.
In 2017.
In 2017. The most recent, which is what we documented, is the 765. There has not been one since then.
I have the same concerns.
So
Thank you.
in other words, this is also a property that has been bid twice. Each time, Sydney and Sydney got a little higher. Actually, we did get $10,000 more than last time, but there's a preponderance of the bid's closeness that says that it's very unlikely that we'll get higher than this for the reasons aforementioned.
So to make sure I'm clear, so the hunting rights was a part of the appraisal. The appraisal, that's why he was able to appraise a little higher, but the county is not allowing that to transfer with the sale.
So there's two things, two separate things. One is the hunting rights themselves that basically the previous owner wanted the hunting rights to remain with him and would be transferable to his own owner, so and would not be transferred to anybody else. So already you have this issue. The separate issue is more that the appraiser thought that if there were going to be any development in this property, then it would be in a kind of a clustered, and that the wood would offset whatever clustered developments there would be. But Hanover County is not giving any signs that they would accept this development arrangement.
Okay.
So both of these items lower it down.
Right, I understand. Thanks.
Do we have any more discussion?
I would just like, so were we able to get any offers? Was that the highest offer that we received?
That's the highest offer we received, but the other offers were very close by maybe $10,000. So they were all in a $530 to $565 level.
Okay.
And it has come up $10,000 so
Yeah.
since the last time.
Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely,
4.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Vick,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
Against.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
Against.
Motion carried 5-2.
No,
Doesn't carry in that case.
it doesn't carry with
That
that.
doesn't carry. You have to have a supermajority.
Okay. Is there time for us to take this back to staff?
Pardon me?
Is time to take it back to staff?
We would just do the same thing we've done the other two
Okay,
times.
that's
so.
fine. That's fine.
Maybe we'll get another 10,000.
Pardon?
Thank you. Item E5 is a request to adopt an ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager to execute any and all documents, including deeds, necessary to effectuate the conveyance of city-owned property located in Caroline County to Ingle Farms, Inc. Item E5 has the same background information as the prior 4 items. The Meadow Tract, comprising approximately 349.26 acres in Caroline County, was the intended location of a wetland mitigation site to offset the wetlands lost by the creation of the King William Reservoir. When the King William Reservoir project was discontinued, this property became surplus. Waterworks advertised the sale of this property in the local newspaper, on the Newport News website, Newport News website, by mail to adjacent landowners, and by posting signage at the property. Bids were accepted for 30 days. Waterworks received 6 bids to purchase the surplus Meadow Tract. Ingle Farms, Inc. was the high bidder at $1,150,000. City manager recommends approval. Are there any speakers?
One, Dave Linebarger, for
Okay.
questions only.
For questions only. Do we have any questions? Okay. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carries 7-0.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
I do.
Oh,
Could the same appraiser, Waterworks, provide some explanation on the difference? The difference in the appraisal versus the
That's right.
the bid.
This is, for the appraisal value this time, there's not a specific items the way it was with the others. I just want to give a little bit of a background. The Engel Farms was also the one who had been actually renting a part of this property on the waterworks. They are well above the other bidders, almost double what the other bidders had done. However, compared to the first bid that they gave, it was only $50,000 more, so they're not going to go higher than this. This is the second time again that we've been out over the course of about a year. It's very unlikely that we would get a higher value than this one.
Can I ask
I'm finished.
a quick question? Out of the 37 parcels in this whole project, how many are remaining that we still own?
Well, tonight would have been the last of all the parcels, both the large parcel, the 3 large parcels, and the ones that were under the reservoir property itself.
So we still have now one since,
So we got this one talking tonight, plus, well, I guess we'll have to go to rebid for the other one, and hopefully we'll get bids.
just one more question. And how many years has this been,
How many years for?
this project? That
Oh, this project was terminated in September 2009, so
2009
about
is what I thought, okay.
13 and a half years ago. And so this is a problem because then we keep carrying ratepayer money to maintain the property when there's no need for the waterworks to do this. And it was a decision to cut losses back in 2009. And, you know, when you recoup losses, it's...
Right, I just wanted that on record for people to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
let's call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
Against.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carried 6-1.
Moving on to the consent agenda. Item F contains the following items. Page 37, minutes of the organizational meeting of January 10th, 2023. Page 42, minutes of the special meeting of January 10th, 2023. Page 46, minutes of the work session of January 10th, 2023. Page 48, minutes of the regular meeting of January 10th, 2023. Page 62, ordinance setting the number of days sufficient for completion of the September to November 2022 term of service of the Board of Review of Real Estate Assessments. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda, item F1 through F5, all inclusive?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely.
4.
Councilman Harris.
4.
Mayor Jones.
4.
Councilman Long.
4.
Councilwoman Vick.
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury.
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carries 7-0.
Other city council actions. Next on our agenda, page 64, item G1, Madam Manager.
This is a request to receive and open bids for granting utility easements over city-owned property located at 494 and 520 Menchville Road South to facilitate installation of a new underground electric service for a proposed ice machine and tool shed, and to allow for the installation of new underground conductors and the removal of existing overhead conductors and wood poles.
We have a $1 bid from Dominion Energy. Follow-up action to be referred to the city manager's office. Page 75, item G2, Madam Manager.
This is a request to approve a resolution granting permission to use the city's rights-of-way for telecommunication purposes and directing the city manager to execute a temporary, non-exclusive, revocable license agreement by and between the City of Newport News, Virginia, and Newport News Shipbuilding, a division of Huntington Ingalls Incorporated, and I recommend approval.
Are there any speakers? Is there a motion to approve this resolution? Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely? 4. Councilman Harris?
4.
Mayor Jones?
4.
Councilman Long?
4.
Councilwoman Vick?
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury?
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany?
4.
Motion carries 7-0.
Page 99, item G3, Madam Manager.
Yes, this is the first of two items that are related. The first is a request to approve a resolution accepting and supporting implementation of the United States Economic Development Administration Economic Adjustment Assistance Grant for the design of seafood industrial park improvements, and I recommend approval.
Are there any speakers? Is there a motion to approve this resolution? Is there been moved and seconded? Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely? 4. Councilman Harris?
4.
Mayor Price? I'm sorry, Mayor Jones?
4.
Councilman Long?
4.
Councilwoman Vick?
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury?
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany?
4.
Motion carried 7-0.
Page 103, item G4, Madam Manager.
Yes, the second item is a request to approve a resolution appropriating $840,994 from the United States Economic Development Administration Economic Adjustment Assistance Grant and required local match for design of a seafood industrial park improvements, and I recommend approval.
Are there any speakers? No, sir. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, I am really excited about this grant, this funding, because we have talked about for years the development of the seafood market. So Florence, to you and your department, the EDA, everyone, Lisa, of course, with the budget director, I know she had her hand in this somewhere, but to be able to move forward with in the lower part of our city, where we already have the industrial area, the seafood industrial area, but to be able to build on that and beautify it and make it more vibrant for our city. So I'm excited about this appropriation today. And thank to all the staff and the city manager who worked to make this happen. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ely?
4.
Councilman Harris?
4.
Mayor Jones?
4.
Councilman Long?
4.
Councilwoman Vick?
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury?
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany?
4.
Motion carried 7-0.
There are no appropriations submitted for item H. We'll now move forward to item I. Citizen comments. Item I, citizen comments on matters germane to the business of City Council. I will call each name in the order that it appears in front of me. Elliott Lane.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, council members. I'm Elliott Lane, and I live at 12 Horsepen Road in Newport News on the edge of Flax Creek. We are here tonight to oppose the planned pedestrian trail along Flax Creek at Riverview Farm Park for the following reasons. First of all, loss of privacy. The walking trail as currently proposed is to be located on the HRSD side of Flax Creek, which is very close to the backyards of residents on the opposite side of Flax Creek. Many of the residents have back porches, decks, patios, and so forth that look directly across to where the proposed trail would be. Anyone who is having a family gathering, a cookout, or just trying to enjoy the backyard would be in plain view and subject to perfect strangers walking, running, and so forth, and consequently eliminating their privacy. This is very unfair to residents that would be affected. Most of these residents either purchased or built their homes along Flax Creek because of the privacy, peace, and serenity of their property, and proposed Flax Creek proportion of this trail would eliminate that. Secondly, not needed. The existing 2-mile trail on Riverview Farm Park is certainly more than adequate for the existing usage. Many of us who walk the trail daily know that the trail is never crowded. However, please note, we do not oppose and in fact support the proposed section of the trail along James River frontage and the Deep Creek frontage, since they do not affect the privacy and security and safety of any residents. The proposed Flax Creek portion of the trail does not really add a lot of nature due to the removal of the mass amount of trees and shrubs and bushes that HRSD has done with our SWIFT project. If you walk on the proposed trail, you will see on one side HRSD, the completely cleared land and the sewage processing system, and on the other side you would see the backyards of the residents. The addition of the new James River Deep Creek portion, which can be altered to offer more nature that has no adverse effect on residents, will add another 1.5 miles approximately of trail that would be sufficient to handle the additional demand for many years and decades to come. Thirdly, loss of security and safety. The proposed Flax Mill Creek Trail could adversely affect the safety and security of trail users and the adjacent residents and their properties. Trail users could wander off the trail either intentionally or unintentionally, creating a safety and security issue for themselves and for the residents and their homes and property adjacent to the Flax Creek. Reduction of property values. Residents of the adjacent properties who want to sell or need to sell their homes would experience a reduction of potential buyer interest due to lack of privacy, security, and safety concerns created by the proposed Flax Mill Creek portion of the trail.
Thank you, sir.
May I ask you a question?
I'm sorry?
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
The question allows us to increase time, so we just have a question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, did you talk to anyone at HRSD? I mean, have you gone to them and asked if they could make that adjustment?
Councilman Woodbury, we talked to people at HRSD continually since last.
Go back to the,
So we can hear it.
the mic. It's okay.
To answer the question, myself and my wife and many of the residents that live along Flax Creek have tried to discuss the situation and the removal of trees and shrubs that have taken away our privacy continually since that time. Basically, I would say it's more or less, we've been more or less told that that's the project, the way it's planned, and that's the way it's going to be. This project was going on, as you probably know, for 6 years.
Yes, I know.
We have been subjected to extreme noise, continual vibrations, house structural damage, and a lot in addition to that. Without going into too many more details, I would say we've fallen on deaf ears as far as anything being done constructive to help remedy the situation, other than telling us that it was going to go forward.
Thank you. I would not give up.
Well, we're not. We had people at our homes last Friday looking at structural damage and looking at other issues that we had and showing them, you know, but once the trees and shrubs and so forth are removed, do you know how long it takes to grow a tree the size of the trees they took out? We were also told that, you know, they were putting in retention ponds to deter erosion, okay? In my best knowledge, and I'm not a sanitary engineer, but trees with root systems, shrubs, bushes with root systems are one of the best deterrents there is for erosion, or try to deter erosion.
Well, I would urge you to continue to fight your fight.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I guess my time is up, right?
Thank you, sir. Next up, we have Mr. Jerry Ferguson.
Mayor, council members, my name's Jerry Ferguson. I live at 14 Horsepen Road. And my wife and I also are opposing the same trail with Mr. Lane. You should have got a package given to you. We were told by HRSD that the city would be the ones that have to change the trail, not them. A few points to add to Mr. Elliott's is our understanding that this trail was approved 20 years ago. I didn't live there 20 years ago, but nobody came to talk to me about it. HRSD told us they did the minimum requirement to let people know. They should have came to the people that live there to make us aware of this. The lack of security, who's going to monitor this trail? You're putting a trail back there now that when you go to parks, there's litter everywhere. Who's going to pick up the litter? Park rangers are already understaffed. That's what we've been told park rangers are going to do, but you don't see park rangers at Riverview Park very often at all. Destruction of the natural habitats. To build this trail, they're going to have to destroy even more trees, which now I have a bird's eye view of the sanitation, which I didn't have 7 years ago when I purchased my house. And like Mr. Elliott said, the reason I purchased my house was that there. If you look in the package, the first page shows an alternate path that we have suggested and would like to take into consideration, because you still get the Riverview Walk and you get some woods up there, but it doesn't back up to anybody's houses. And again, HRSD has said that the city would be the one that would have to change this trail, not them. They're just paying for it.
And the yellow mark is, the yellow trail is the one that you all came up with?
Yes, ma'am. The yellow one, and I mean, you can look at this picture here. This was pre-construction. I have more pictures of what it is now, and you can tell just from it the amount of trees.
Let me see it, maybe. Let me see it, maybe.
I mean, like I said, we invite you to come to our house and look at our picturesque view now and all the trees that are gone and the noise levels. We have structural damage, HRSD was out there, and they're supposed to bring a structural engineer to look at our house because now we have cracks in our foundation, cracks in our chimney, cracks in our walls. So,
What's the address, sir?
14 Horsepen Road.
I'll come tomorrow.
Excuse me, could we ask the city manager to see if there's anything we can do?
We'll be happy to provide you a report,
Okay, thank you.
give you the background.
Just stay after. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Michael Bartley.
Michael Bartley, 4 Executive Drive, Newport News. Mr. Mayor, City Council, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I would especially like to thank Councilman John Ely for going to the school board meeting a week ago and to the vigil that my wife organized before that. I would also like you to know how great of a lot of the employees we have. Ms. Warner acted above and beyond what anyone could ever possibly ask. The other teachers at Rich Neck Elementary School, when that happened, did great things. The police acted very responsibly beyond what anyone could imagine, and the EMS also acted above and beyond. But my problems we have are with the administrators and the school board, who a week ago could not even remember to keep my speaking card. You, the city council, have the power of the purse, and that is what I ask you to use wisely. At the school board meeting, there was a woman from New York who also had her card lost, I assume, because she spoke late like me, and her child was in that class. Everyone should have to watch that. It's the most powerful speaker I've ever seen in my life. And the other speakers also spoke of how obfuscation and apathy have been running the higher administrators in the school board, moving around things and just hiding problems instead of addressing them. It seems that the school board has a priority of accreditation over education. Rich Neck Elementary School seems like it is the inevitable outcome of what happens when you do this. There was apparently a report that that particular student had a gun, and the administrators either didn't think to call police or didn't know how, and in case they're questioning, it's 911. The parents there still don't know what's going on. I have a friend who does not know. They said in the meeting that you could send your kids to McIntosh Elementary. You can't. He makes too much money because both of him and his wife work. And allegedly they'll go back to school on Monday. We'll see if that actually happens. But the school board and the administrators have shown that they're unwilling or unable to educate the children at that school. And so we must change, and I only can think of 4 ways to change. 1 is the school board to internally change, and I highly doubt that would happen. 2, elections, and they're almost 2 years off, and it's going to be at the bottom of the ticket with the president at the top. The grace of God, and I will continue to pray for that. But why I'm here is funding. You hold the power of the purse. I ask that you stop funding Rich Neck Elementary School and give that money to the children. If they leave, let them take the money wherever they go. If they want to go to James City County, York County, let it go there. If they want to go to a private organization, go there. And if they want to homeschool, give the money to the parents, so that these parents and children that have suffered so much can at least have some remuneration for what's going on and the terrible things that have happened. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir,
Yes,
have you been to the school board and spoken?
I spoke at the last week, yes. And my wife and I both submitted cards. She spoke about a third of the way time, and we were submitted at the same time. And they lost my card. So I had to speak at very near the end. And I've spoken to them several other times in the past as well.
I urge you to continue that.
If I'm in the state and I might have to travel for work, I intend on being there next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amaya Hall.
Hello, my name is Amaya Hall. I stay at First Avenue in Newport News. Okay. So, I am a student at Christopher Newport University, and I'm also a member of Enoch Baptist Church in Virginia Beach. This evening, I am here to ask you for your help for my idea to turn my idea into reality. At my church, we host 2 community days, one in May and one in August for back to school. Our purpose of a community day is to allow the community to come out and fellowship with the police officers and other members in the community. The Chief of Police in Virginia Beach has noticed that the crime has decreased partly because of our community days and that our local police and community is getting to know each other. I, along with the help of the city, police departments, local churches, and civic leagues, would like to have a community day in Newport News at a park sometime in August to allow our at-risk youth and those that do not trust the police to come out and talk and bring togetherness between the two. My vision is to have resource vendors such as city wellness programs, employment services, and mental health and substance abuse programs, just to name a few, to shine some light on their services and contact info, which could be beneficial to our youth and families. To have a gathering filled with fun, entertainment, and togetherness. Play basketball and other games with the involvement of the youth, community members, and police officers. I also want to give back to our youth with book bags and school supplies to ensure that they start the school off right with everything that they need. Let's just not stop with Community Day. Let's plan other community activities throughout the year to help the city, from the city, police department, and civic leagues to keep our community involved in their own community, to safeguard and protect our youth from a life of crime. As a young individual, our minds need to be stimulated and we must stay busy. Thank you for this opportunity to share my idea and proposal about the importance of building a strong community. So with your help, can we make this happen?
She was the one who sent the email to us about the idea, and I called her and invited her here because I felt like it was important for her to share her idea, and I knew our chief, Drew, would be here so that he could make the connection, she could make the connection with the people who needed to hear her, and to see that we have so many things going on already that you could be able to join. So I just want to applaud you for being the leader that you are, for sending us that great email, and for having the bravery and courage to come down here to speak to us, to let us know what we need to do to help make our community better. So I thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, could I ask you to try to engage, say, maybe 3 or 4 other people and have a committee?
Yes.
That can, takes the plan and starts the implementation with our help.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Ernest Thompson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. Well, oh, that I could articulate like those young people. My gracious, they were wonderful. I'm so proud of the young people coming up now. It's wonderful. But I'm here today to talk about your work sessions. I don't know if you all have had the opportunity to discuss whether televising the work sessions has come to your forefront, something that you all want to vote on. But the reason I want to talk about that is specifically about the CNI area, the Choice Neighborhood Initiative, this end of town. Just a small section that the city has been vigorously working on trying to bring and uplift this end of the community. But in that application, it mandates that we as citizens participate in all aspects of the decision-making for that. And the different departments have been wonderful in allowing us and participating with us and helping us and engaging us in prosecuting what's happening down this end of town. But so often we participate in all those things, and then a session of stuff happens behind the scene where decisions are made and we're not at the table to help bring that decision to fruition. When we hear somebody, they take all of our data and input, and then all of a sudden a decision is revealed to us. And since we participated in it, it is just, I just guess you assume that, oh, well, they agree with it. And I have numerous examples that I won't discuss now of those kinds of things that had happened when decisions were made, but we, the citizens, like what's going on, but we're not necessarily in agreement. And then what I'm talking about is especially for the CNI, when any segment of the CNI is presented to council, especially at the work sessions, when the different departments make that, a citizen should be there able to share what we say, because the city rightfully is giving their presentation and their documentation based on what they have, but we need to be, because this is the first time that citizens of this end of Newport News had the power to be able to sit at the desk, to sit at the table of power and absolutely make decisions. And so therefore, I hope that you will open up and allow us and allow these work sessions to be televised, because a lot of times things happen. We find out here at City Council that it's happened, but if we have the ability to be able to share some things with council, then I think the decision is more appealing to us, and it would also help you all. So that's what I'm here tonight to just hopefully encourage you all to do, that you would make the, and often it's been said that you would at least make the work session something that's televised that all of the citizens can enjoy and participate in.
I can go first. Thank you, sir, for the comments. We had our, you can stay, you can stay.
Oh, okay.
No worries, you can stay. We had our city council retreat a few weeks ago, and we have discussed it. We are going to start televising work sessions this year. It's going to be TBD. It will happen this year. Give us some time to get sort of the apparatus set up and a few things worked out. But we agree that your government should be transparent. It should be open. It should be accountable. So it is going to happen. I promise you that. Just give us some time, okay?
Ah, gracious. That's why I'm so happy. I told you my eyes.
The last piece, really quick, sir. It is your right. You can come to the work sessions right here.
Yes, I know that.
Okay. I just wanted to.
But just to
make sure
come
that
and
you
sit, we can't, we're not allowed to say anything. So I'm just talking about the CNI. So if a department of the city is presenting something concerning this area in the CNI, then that application mandates that we as citizens, and we have a citizens advisory committee. I used to be the chairman of it, but that committee represents the citizens. So if the department is making a presentation to you, I think it is very important that you hear, since we've never had a voice, to hear our voice, at least at this particular time.
And just to clarify, the work session is still, with us televising it, it's still not the time to comment.
Right.
But we agree that opening it up, ensuring people have the ability to view it from their home is something that's going to be a priority.
Right.
Just give us a little bit of time, all right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just talking about this CNI area, and I don't know if you all have had the opportunity to kind of look at the application and to see what it mandates for us, because this is unique. We've never had a voice on this end of town. So we're excited, and anyway,
The only thing I do have to say, for the staff and all of the volunteers and you as well, I do know that during this CNI process, our entire team, because this has been a team to move this thing forward, our CNI this far, and you have to agree that we have had so much citizen input.
Yes.
From the room crowded at Achievable Dream to once the COVID hit, we were online. You were at a number of meetings giving input, so we have not denied any citizens who have wanted to participate. And we've had a great group, and you've been a part of it, to be able to be inclusive, because we would not even have been able to get this far without getting approval from our Department of Housing and Urban Development if we had not involved the citizens.
Oh, I agree.
So we have done a great job, and I really appreciate you being a part of it, and we will continue to be allow whoever needs to be a part of it, because we have gone so far to be able to see that we're at the demolition phase and about to be able to see new housing come for our residents, and which is so exciting. So it's been a great team effort, a city team effort.
Absolutely, I agree.
So I thank you.
Yes. I could talk all day, so I'll see that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Next up is Chanel Ketchmore.
Good evening, Mayor Jones and entire council. I am Chanel Ketchmore, and I am a resident of Newport News. I am also the founder and executive director of Ketchmore Kids. We are a nonprofit organization that works to decrease gun violence and address other challenges in our city. And on behalf of the entire Ketchmore Kids team, I just wanted to take this opportunity to wish you all a great year and a great term, and to thank you. Many of you have shared information about our programs and services. You have shown up on site with us when we are out working in the communities, and we are truly, truly grateful for that. Very grateful. So just wanted to take a moment to share that, and we look forward to your continued support, and we look forward to doing our part to continue to make sure our city is on point, and I will be giving them my card so that we can connect. So thank you. I just wanted to take the opportunity to share that.
And Ms. Ketchmore, I just appreciate, some people have not been working out in the vineyard as long as you have. It's been 20-plus years, and I applaud you for staying steadfast. And with the amount of work that you and your entire family have done to improve community, to improve our city and our community, but particularly working with the people who some people will want to turn a blind eye to, but you have the courage and the strength to be able to continue to work, and I applaud with everything you're doing, and we're going to be expecting and already receiving some great results in our citizens. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Lily Robinson. Oh, there she is.
How y'all doing? Y'all look so good. I got a new wheelchair, so I don't know how to maneuver. I got to find it. And thank God and stuff, because it's cold out there. So I'm not going to take up much of y'all time and stuff. I'm really not. I love what that young lady said right there. Man, that's what my niece them wanted to try to do and stuff with some of this stuff here, like the YWCA. First of all, I want to thank God for being here. And I still want to thank God for that teacher, and we're still praying for her, even though she's out of the hospital. We know about them gunshots because our children been shot up and down Newport News and all over. And we want to pray for that family because that child was needing help and everything. They did not do what they supposed to do. And just like that young man said, I didn't make it to the school board and stuff. But I wanted to come over, well, I was coming over here anyway. But just like I said, it's the way they handle it. And I done been through the school system and stuff, you know what I mean? But them even to think that the child had it, to let them back in the class. But see, they were used to it. They were used to it for them down here. Like them girls been coming up here begging for Huntington to be back where it was, a high school. I went there, I didn't graduate, but I went there, it was our school. And they put that school and made a middle school for our children. And the guns came in there. They talking about their sister book bag. Well, our children at Huntington and stuff, most of them didn't have book bags, thankful to the Salvation Army, the churches, and the parents that could afford it. They didn't take the gun in there. I had a great nephew and my 2 grandchildren come from Georgia to go there one year. I went there. It was horrible. And nobody should have to beg for that. They should not have did it and stuff. And then with all this down here, marching court and everything, all that come down here, they have not looked out for our children. I was born and raised here. Y'all 40 years old, y'all youngins right there and stuff. That's when they went up there and started building up them and left us to fend for ourselves and stuff, and our children and great-grandchildren and stuff. We had it good. We was middle class. That person that's sitting in your seat for 12 years, that man somebody mistakenly called you for, don't ever do that. You is nothing like that. He lived here. He was born and raised on 31st Street and Marshall Avenue. I was born on 31st Street and Wickham Avenue, right in front of Huntington. He sat here for 12 years to let these people do that. We had everything down Jefferson Avenue and stuff. We had it going on, as the children said. And when we was talked about, it was because you can go up on 25th Street and Jefferson Avenue, or 25 and J, and you have a nice style. We had all kinds of things. And they just let us suffer down here. let our children suffer. Then they moved them up there to Dimmy that they had built up. I went up to Dimmy in the 50s on a hayride, one of them for woods, like the man was talking about his woods. They done cut them down, and they gonna keep on. So I'm asking y'all tonight that them young ladies don't have to come back and beg for Huntington High School. I'm asking y'all tonight and stuff for y'all to please help them. I'm calling Bible Scott and everything. They're not gonna keep on doing us like this in Newport News, Virginia. They can't. We're tired. I come over here mad behind the parade. They've been fighting for Huntington High School. And they got a senator, the only black senator that ever made the House of Representatives, name on it there, and know it. Why should they have to beg for something that belonged to us? When they had what they wanted here and stuff, Walter Reed and Newport News High School, they got rid of it because they didn't care. We cared about Booker T and Huntington. So I'm asking y'all, and I'm going to get y'all help. I'm going to get y'all help, because I'm calling Bible Scott and everybody. And I want them alumni, because I ain't got nobody to sell your phone, consume your cellular. I'm getting nowhere because they ask for emails and everything. And I just want to thank y'all once again for listening to me. It's cold out there, so I'm getting ready to get across this bridge. I should only have to come here one more time.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
That's for housing. Okay. I thank y'all very much. Y'all be blessed.
Be blessed.
Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is Thomas Kearney.
Give it yeah, highlight it. Good evening. How y'all doing?
Evening.
Good. Honorable Mayor, Council, persons, people. I'm happy to be here. My name is Thomas Kearney, and I'm here with Cassidy Hort, known as Loud Seabrooks, powered by Virginia Radio, and we're here representing Brooks Crossing Innovation Lab. What we have is an anti-gun violence program. It's a work integrated learning program. And what we do is we look for youth that are caught up in our streets in that type of lifestyle, the challenging lifestyle. You know, some people termed it at-risk youth. I'm going to call it, challenging, because I came up in the challenge. You know what I mean? And what we did was we came up with a program that'll help our youth from the ages of 13 to 24 overcome some of the challenges of those streets, of our streets. Our program is more based on talking to our youth rather than about our youth and at our youth. We're doing one-on-one mentoring and also bringing these youth into Brooks Crossing to deal with learning how to, number one, start a vision of starting their own business. Number two, getting some skills to run their business. And number three, to learn the ins and outs of the basis of legalizing yourself in business. Because the truth be told, we can tell them all we want to, that this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong. But, some of these children, I call them children, but kids and youth, they have situations at home where they don't have food in the refrigerator. You know what I mean? They don't have clean clothes, and it's kind of hard to get people to do right when their stomach's growling. So what Brooks Crossing has decided to do was they're providing materials and volunteers to help these youth get enterprising, to make T-shirts and cups and whatever vision that they can come up with to start their own business. We're teaching them how to hustle, but we're teaching them how to hustle in a legal manner, So what we're here to do, we made our rounds. You guys are not our last, but we made our rounds to the schools, to the community centers, to the churches, and we're here now to see all of you because I'm pretty sure, some of you know some youth that need this program. Some of you out here know some youth that need this program, right? Out here, outside the door, they're right there on the desk. Pick that up. Down here at the bottom, it has a referral link. Just put the youth's name on that referral link. We will reach out to them, and we'll do our best to try to keep these kids out the street and keep them out of the hospital rooms and the jails. You know what I mean? So, not going to take too much of your time. This is what we own, and I hope each and every last one of you get a copy of this. And if you need more, let me know. Contact me. All the information is up here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, one more thing.
So, is your group Work Integrated Learning?
Yes, yes,
That's
ma'am.
the name of your group?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We are the Will Project. And there's one more thing that we're working on, and we're currently looking for sponsors for. We're also doing community events like the young lady. We're going to reach out to her. Now that I see her, we're going to network with her, try to anyway. But we're also trying to push an initiative for gun lock boxes and trigger locks for parents at the schools who either can't afford it or, we're going to be honest, this is Virginia, some people have illegal guns. For them, they don't feel right. Some parents don't feel right going into, we have them. We will give them away to these parents, no questions asked, you know what I mean, to try to keep our teachers safe, our children safe. Just a measure. It's not a guarantee, but it's a measure. It's something. So we're looking for sponsors, anybody that's willing to sponsor, helping us get gun lock boxes and trigger locks for parents at these schools. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question for the when is this? Is it starting now, like ongoing recruitment for the youth? And then as far as mentors, if any mentors were interested in helping out, would they just reach out to this email address?
Absolutely. Okay. The program starts February the 6th. We may set it back a little more because there's a lot of kids, and we want to get good opportunities. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, we're looking for mentors, volunteers. If you have vocational skills and you want to share these skills with the youth, we're looking for that. We're looking for people who just want to volunteer for our community days. We want it all. We're not turning down nothing but the collar. Come on out. Yes, sir.
It's February the 6th. What time does it go from?
It's like I said, it's one-on-one mentoring. Like I'm a gun violence interventionist. Mr. Lau C. Brooks here is a gun violence interventionist. Miss Michaela Overton back there, she's a gun violence interventionist. What we'll be doing is we're basically, like I said, we're peers. So they can call us. A person who's in trouble can call me at 4 in the morning. I'm going to get up, I'm going to answer the phone, and we're going to talk it out. We're going to keep them from going out there, picking up that gun, and killing somebody, or getting killed.
What time would it start? If citizens wanted to come to this class or be a part,
they will have to come and get an interview and make it to the program. They can't just come just.
Well, I think I understand what you're saying. You're saying what time, like a volunteer?
Because you said it start February the 6th. I didn't know if
Well, Brooks Crossing has its own programming. It's got a multitude of programming, 3D printing, vinyl cutting, direct-to-garment printing. They have UV printing, which prints on anything outside a garment. They have wood shop. They have a DJing class. They have a recording studio for these youngsters that want to do music. I have just made a deal with the Contemporary Arts Network. They are going to send 40 professional artists from this whole region down here to show the kids, to give kids experience with professionals. Because this is our goal. Our goal is to have them, to give them a different point of view, a paradigm shift. So, but I think your question was when can a volunteer come
like
in?
if citizens watching this on live and they like what you're saying, how could they would have to register on the Brooks Crossing at odu.edu or the referrals?
Yes. Okay. The referral is for the youth, but you can email the Brooks Crossing at odu.edu, and you can express your interest and what you have to offer. I mean, like I said, we ain't turning down nothing. I mean, if you just want to come and hold the door of the community event, we got that. I'm also a USA boxing coach and official. We do boxing events too. We're painting the mural over there on Jefferson, the mural at the new hospital center. We're going to have a community day out there where the kids, youth can come out, or you come out too, and put your stroke on there, because this mural is supposed to represent Newport News. And we want it to represent Newport News. We want people to drive by and be like, that's Newport News. So, that being said, I don't want to hold up too much of your time. I'm up here freestyling. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all have a great night, and it was good seeing y'all. Y'all will be seeing me again.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm excited. All right, thank y'all.
Thank
have
you.
a good night.
I think our last speaker of the night is Amanda Donofrio.
Hi. Good evening. Hello. Thank you for allowing me a little bit of time to speak before you. I spoke this week at the press conference that was kind of impromptu earlier at 4:30, and I spoke also at the school board meeting, but I felt a need to speak before you because I don't feel that they're really listening to what the parents in the community are saying, and there's a lot being said about things that the community wants that aren't happening, and things that the community are offering in assistance that aren't happening. So I just wrote something and I'll read from it. I'm a concerned citizen. I'm an employee of the Newport News public school system. But most importantly, I'm a mother. I have written, I have emailed, I have signed many petitions calling for change, and here I am after another American school shooting. This domestic terrorism has been allowed to plague our country for too long. We all know the catalyst for this rampant decimation of the American public education system was lit in Columbine, which was my senior year of high school. Yet, I am here before you while the community calls for action after seeing 3 shootings in 17 months, and the school board and the United States government is failing our children and our educators by allowing a war to be waged against them completely unchecked, leaving them unprotected and undefended. More than 20 years after my high school graduation, there are literally people alive today who were born after Columbine and have completed an entire public school education backed up by nothing but hopes and prayers. And sadly, there are many who never completed that education after being slaughtered in what should be a sanctuary. This is a system where our teachers and children are put in danger by the administration who wanted so badly to have good numbers that they're willing to put other people's lives on the line. More than one teacher has come forward and said they were asked not to officially report these instances where they fear being fired for speaking out about a violent student, where a violent student can get a break and a treat and then sent back to class. They aren't suspended, they aren't expelled, they are moved to a new class where the only change is their victims. Last year, a student who had a previous gun and malicious wounding charges against him at the age of 14 was in our public school system at the age of 16, where he shot 2 fellow students and put many more at risk. Why was he in our schools while having this history of violence? And why was he in our schools wearing an ankle monitor? Because he was known to be so violent. And still after that, not much has been done. If the information that's being suppressed had been on finances, would we see so long before we see an action taken? Our board is so completely out of touch with reality of the situation, they started off last Tuesday's meeting by giving out an award and then by patting the superintendent on the back for writing an email citing figures he knows to be inaccurate because he's asked the teachers not to report all the instances officially. And how is it that the principal of that school was replaced and is no longer in her position, yet the entire school board sat before us completely straight-faced as parents and teachers bared their souls, not even one of them having the moral fortitude to take accountability for their actions or answer our questions? This follows a comment by the superintendent stating our 6-year-olds learned a lesson. Why have the adults of this country not learned this lesson? Since 1999, about 300,000 students have been on site during a school shooting. This recent shooting comes after Uvalde, where one student said that she survived by smearing her dead friend's blood on her body and pretending to be dead as a child.
Ma'am, it's been the 3 minutes, but I think we have a question.
Yes.
Thank you. I just love what you're saying. And you did say you spoke to the school board?
I have spoken to the school board, yes.
And I would say to you that what your premise of what you're saying is absolutely right. And I can remember when we had a chief one time when I was on the school board, and we were saying, oh, well, one of the people on the school board said, oh, we don't have any gangs in our schools. And he said, we have gangs, and we have them in the community, and we have them in schools, and we've got to address it. And what you're saying is so right. If we address these situations, we wouldn't have had what we would do. So continue. I'm just
Yes,
saying,
thank
great.
you.
Great
Thank
for you.
Where was I?
Sorry.
In four out of 5 shootings, at least one person knew the shooter's plan and did not report it. And this is an instance directly relating to our teachers being told to suppress this information. We're not learning, and I'm not sure when it will be enough. If we could come together as a nation after 9/11, band together, and change the face of an entire industry practically overnight for the sake of security, why are our schools still victimized? We put solutions in place for the opioid epidemic. Our children and our teachers remain lambs to the slaughter. Our societal issues with mental health are continuing to grow as America becomes more and more violent, a country where the leading cause of death for young children is gun violence. Furthermore, in a year where we saw a school budget increase of 6.7%, why are our teachers only granted a 5% increase in salary while more and more is being asked of them and less is being done for them? They are expected to go into these buildings by many parents and not only teach their children, but defend their children in case of these incidences. We see time and time again on the news where teachers shield their students with the only thing at their disposal, their own bodies, to protect these children.
Ma'am, I do want to say this, though. The city council does not have the authority to regulate the salaries of teachers.
No, you don't.
We give it to the school board, and they regulate.
I understand that. But it goes on to my next point, which is that I would like action and accountability. If it is within your purview or your power, I would like to see an audit performed against the school board, including their policies and procedures about risk management and their financial management of funds, if you can. I am a teacher at a school where they just put in new smart boards. I've had it for about a week. I don't know how to use it. Not only do I not know how to use it, the one I had before was perfectly fine, as were the other ones in the building. So why is the administration of our school board putting millions of dollars into technology we don't need after students were kept before their screens and before their TVs and tablets for the COVID pandemic and should be learning to socialize? We are putting them before more and more boards, ones that weren't needed, ones that we can't use, ones that I can't even use in my classroom because as a tutor for the PAL system, I am not provided with a laptop, which I would need to be able to utilize the new smart board or the previous one, which did work.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
I hope you'll go and make the same speech to the school board again.
Yes, it seems I will have to repeat it. Thank you.
Our next item is new business. But before we have the city manager, I think the vice mayor wants to make a motion.
Yes, I move to reconsider item E4 under public hearings.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Called it.
Okay.
No discussion? Yeah, going over again. Call the roll.
Councilman Ely,
4.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Vick,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
4.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carries 7-0.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Any discussion?
So we're voting on it again? Is that the idea?
We just voted. It's hers. Switch the vote.
Okay, all right.
Call the roll.
Councilman Ely,
4.
Councilman Harris,
4.
Mayor Jones,
4.
Councilman Long,
4.
Councilwoman Vick,
4.
Councilwoman Woodbury,
Against.
Vice Mayor Bethany.
4.
Motion carries 6-1.
Thank you. On to new business, Madam Manager.
Nothing, sir.
City Attorney,
Nothing, sir.
City Clerk,
Nothing, sir.
Councilman Ely.
First, I'd like to start off by saying today I had the amazing opportunity to see the mayor address Newport News for the first time. You did an excellent job. It was great to hear from the citizens and just to see how transparent you was. I don't know if I could have took the opportunity to just have questions on the spot from hundreds of people. So you did a very great job representing Newport News. I also had the opportunity over the last week to attend the amazing event out Hampton. They did a farmer's market, and just to see so many citizens, not just from the Hampton area, but all over Newport News, take the advantage of getting fresh produce. I went with Councilwoman Vick, and she was eating clam chowder and everything else. So it was definitely good to see that type of atmosphere in the city. Remind me how they do in California, LA, Los Angeles. They have a farmer's market every weekend. I could see that event growing to different citizens and local people that have business entrepreneurs participating in that. That's about all. My prayers also continue to go out to Rich Neck family, the Newport News School Board, and we will get through this as a community. Thank you. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Harris.
And good evening to everyone, and thank you for everyone who came out and shared with us on tonight, and everybody who is watching via TV or any streams. Real quick, all I have for tonight is I want to make sure everyone is aware of our Re-Up School Supply event that will take place February the 5th. Didn't miss, it's Amaya, I believe. Amaya, don't leave, because we are having our Re-Up School Supply event is our 6th annual event. I know you mentioned doing a school supply event in August. We always do one halfway through the school year for those kids who need some more crowns, pencils, all those good things to help them out. As you know, throughout the year they break and other things happen, so we try to give them a recharge to start the second semester with this Re-Up event. We're continuing to collect supplies. We have a drop-off box at the Denby Community Center, and some have continued to get in contact with me and our team to make donations, and we're really appreciative of it. We're going to push hard this week to get as much as we can, because we're looking to donate or distribute 500 bags this year, and we are going to make sure that those kids have a good time at the event. There'll be free haircuts from tomorrow's image. We're going to have, obviously, the school supplies. We're going to have vendors, community resource vendors, of which my guy left already. I was going to let him know. He can come up, sit up a table. I'm going to get with Ms. Ketchmore, see if she wants to come sit up a table so that they could let the community know the resources that they provide. And we're still taking vendors if you're looking at, or if you have any community resources that you want to share, because we're going to have a large number of young people with their families, because we're also going to have some youth basketball games in which we'll also have some special performances by our very own nationally ranked Tri-City Lady Canes cheerleading squad. So we're excited about that. So come on out, bring your child, have a good time. It's the Sunday before the Super Bowl, so you can come out. Not going to be on, no football's going to be on that weekend. So you can come on out, enjoy a good time, fellowship, have fun, and but most importantly, let's make sure our kids go back to school the second half of the school year with all the utensils and equipment that they need. I know the second semester starts this upcoming week, so we're going to be little bit off on getting them started for the second semester, but we want to make sure they have something. And we're looking at hopefully providing some more entertainment, which we're looking at. But just come on out, bring your child. And most importantly, if you know anybody who is looking for any mental health resources, we're going to have some mental health resources on site. And we've already reached out to some of the community members to be available. And those that were still, you know, we've talked quite a bit about the incident that we're still trying to recover from. We want to have those mental health resources available for families, children who are still trying to find something to help them get through this traumatic situation. And we're going to have a good time while we're there. So, oh, I forgot, DJ Lawrence is going to be there as well to play some music. I know the city's pretty familiar with him because he does a lot of our city events, and he's going to be out there as well. And that's February the 5th, starts at 10 o'clock, and we're going to go till about 4 o'clock at the Denby Community Center. And that's all I have, Mayor Jones. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Long.
Yeah, I just have one thing real quick. Last Wednesday, I had the opportunity to go to Newport News Juvenile Detention Center with the Chestnuts Night Network, Chestnuts with a Z. If you're interested in playing chess and want to mentor some of our youth that are in the detention center, they meet every Wednesday from 4 to 6 o'clock. If anyone's interested, they have a Facebook page. So I said Chestnuts with a Z Night Network. You also can contact Don Roberts, who leads the effort, 757-434-3773. So again, if you're interested in mentoring some of our youth and you like to play chess, this is a great opportunity to participate and help out in this community.
Did you win any games?
I didn't. Actually, I got beat twice. I'm not really a strong chess player, but I had a good time. I enjoyed myself. And I learned some strategy too as well. So I'll be going there again. So please come on out and help with mentoring.
Thank you. Councilwoman Vick.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just deeply touched tonight by those of you who have come out and spoken about the school situation and the gentleman with the wheel. Is that mine? With the Brooks Crossing, the wheel to change. Do you have the will to change? Amaya, you know, I enjoyed talking to you last night, and of course seeing you here today, because it signifies that you're not just going to sit on the sidelines and watch things happen in this city, and you're not going to watch the things that, you know, haven't gone so right in our city, but you're stepping up, Chanel, Catch More Kids, and all of you who have come forward to be able to add your resources to what we're already doing to help be on the forefront of fighting and saving our children, helping our parents, and helping to save our community. I think it is such a pleasure to watch your boldness, because it's so easy for people to sit on the sideline and criticize, but it takes a real champion to come and stand up and want to say, I want to have a seat at the table. And I don't want to just sit and talk. I want my actions to speak, because you never know in life when you go out to a neighborhood community center, when you volunteer like at Brooks Crossing, Amaya, the event you want to have, who's going to be there that this event or some words will change their life. So I applaud all of you who have come here to do that tonight, and to continue to work with us as a city, because no one has all of the answers, but if we all work together to bring what we have, it's going to really make a difference in our city. So I really thank you for that. And also, of course, as Councilman Ely mentioned, the Hilton Farmers Market is such an asset to our city. I really enjoyed eating the clam chowder and the and being able to get the vegetables and the really nice prices, I got to tell you. But to be able to watch that evolve in our city, because it's not just going out to eat, even though that part is fun, but being able to share in the camaraderie of the other citizens who are there. So that makes a difference. I am very concerned about the HRSD trail, and of course, for the citizens who came out to talk about that, I will want to follow up to see whatever I can do or whatever my voice can contribute to help alleviate the problem, because I know that we all want to have a nice, peaceful enjoyment of life here in Newport News. And to say, because we will not be here on Friday, say happy birthday to a woman that I did not know when I first came on council, I knew of her, but we both won our election, and Mr. Mayor, I know I shouldn't be talking about our election, but it was over, we already won in 2008, but now to have known her and to see how we have worked so well together, we made a pact when we first got on council that we were not going to agree on everything, but we were not going to stay mad for the rest of our lives if we didn't. And so to be able to share that friendship, which is now a friendship with her, and to say happy birthday to a woman now who I can call my friend. And she's such a great person to party with, I have to say that. So happy birthday, Pat.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Councilman Woodbury.
And happy birthday to you, Tina. Her birthday is next week, on the 3rd.
Thank you.
I have talked enough tonight. I know that. And so I'm not going to give any long speeches, but I want to thank you all for your speeches and for your input. And please keep it coming, because we need that to be responsive to you. And we thank you for coming down and caring enough to share that. So thank you so very much.
Vice Mayor.
I'm going to yield a moment. John, Councilman Ely, isn't there a town hall meeting that you are having at some point?
Yes, I am, and I forgot to mention, I have the flyer right here. Monday, February the 6th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m., we have a town hall meeting at Down and Gross Cultural Arts Center. I talked to my counterpart, Tina Vick, she's agreed to be there, as well as Dr. Terry Bestis on the Newport News School Board, as well as I talked with Chief Drew and other staff members to be there. The purpose of the meeting is just to have a conversation about input in Newport News. It's not a conversation of what's going wrong. Our conversation is where do you fit in to make it go right. So we have conversations. So if you want to be a part, it's that type of meeting. It's not a type of meeting where you come with a whole bunch of problems and not have a solution. So we want people to come with the solutions to move Newport News forward. So thank you so much. And we'll also be on that Wednesday, February the 8th, at Midtown Community Center. Being that the South District spread so large, we wanted to make sure we had the opportunity, me and Tina, to both reach all citizens that have a vested interest in coming with ideas to move Newport News forward. So we're both excited about that. Dr. Terry Best excited about that. And thank you, Vice Mayor Bethany, for bringing that back up.
No problem. Last thing I'll say, finish out, is Tina stole all my thunder. I just wanted to say thank you all to coming out, because it's not easy to put yourself out there. Just a decade ago, literally a decade ago today, was the first time I ever set foot in here. And I made that decision that I was no longer going to sit on the sidelines, that I was going to do something. And so from being here, you are already starting that process. So please do not give up, and continue to show up and make sure that your voice is heard. And if it's not heard, you know what you need to do. All right? Thank y'all so much for coming out. We hear you in regards to the school, of course. It is not something that we have not been talking about. I know our mayor will bring it home, but point is we hear you. We've been involved, and it's not something that will fall on deaf ears, I promise.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you. Everyone has really stolen all the thunder, but I'll just sort of try to wrap it all together and bring it home. But thank you to everyone that spoke here tonight. I've always said that citizen participation and engagement is truly the lifeblood of democracy. So thank you for being a part of that process. As to the individuals, a lot of individuals and citizens spoke about the schools. We hear you. We do. I think there's going to be some sort of release from us in the next 2 days. But I do want to say that it is a partnership. It is informal power that we wield, but that as all of us, as stewards, we do hear you, we hear your concerns, and we do agree that going forward, all levels of government have to be accountable to the citizens. Last thing is sort of wrapping it all together. We're going to hold an impromptu town hall, a mayor town hall, next Thursday in Uptown's Community Center. I think that's going to be not a conclusion, but is going to be a time where we can come together as a community, where we can talk. I think what you're going to see with a lot of more venerated and honorable members of our council, as well as some of our younger members, is there's an appetite. We already have the activation energy necessary to engage citizens, right? We are transparent. I think you're going to see there's going to be more town halls than you want to attend, right? Whether it's virtual or in person. But I think it's important that we all come out next Thursday as a city and see how we can come together after what happened at Rich Neck. But I want to say thank you very much for coming out. Thank you for everyone for the last 2 hours who's been here. We really appreciate it. No further business. We stand adjourned.